All right. I got my coffee. Good morning for this Sunday morning. Hope all of you are doing well. I love my Keurig machine. Delicious. All right, so I got some bad news. I have something I have to admit. My girlfriend caught me in bed sleeping with some pasta. Yeah, I was feeling cannelloni. I got this fettuccine. Oh, shut up, Toss. Will you get with the program already? Hey, it's Sunday morning. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling love. I got my dad's Italian love songs playing in the background. Hope all of you are doing well. I know most of you will catch this later on. Some of you are probably still sleeping from eating too much cannelloni last night, right? Hope all of you are doing well for this Good Morning Linux and Chromebooks. And this morning we'll focus on my thoughts on the superb Chromebooks. And when I get my first bug in a Chromebook, I'll let you know. All right, background music, again provided by Dad. Thank you, Dad. These are the tunes he was sending me during the pandemic lockdown in Italy there. So if you like original Italian tunes and would like to support the channel, check out some original tunes sung by his friend Dario and some sung by my dad. The links are below in the show notes. It's salvatorepate.godfather.com. No, it's salvatorepate.bandcamp.com. Check him out. All right, so I tested, maybe later on this week I'll share it. I tested running the Chrome OS on a USB stick. Not the best way to test a Linux-based system, but it does work. And of course it was fast. It is Chrome OS, but I'll have more on that later on this week. Of course I've tested Chromebooks before in Chrome OS, but I don't recall ever testing it on a USB. But I had some time this morning, just a short video I need to edit, and I'll talk more about that part later on this week. Well, Chromebooks continue to sell. The latest Chromebooks Plus are the latest from these Gen 2 Linux powered machines, modified form of Linux powered by Google's Chrome OS. If you're looking to get a new machine and don't care for Windows, don't want to spend $2,000 on a Mac, you don't have time to, test, install Linux for fear of any bugs, you just have too busy of a life, then Chromebooks are the way to go. They are blazingly fast. They are probably the fastest Linux-based machines out there that are affordable. They generally start at about the $200 range. And I think they go up to $1,000, I think. For most people, if you've never tried Linux before or never had a Chromebook before, I would say check out the Chromebooks Plus. Those are brand new. And they will give you 10 years of support, which is superb. All right, we've talked about ransomware. Malware is in the news again. Don't quite understand it. I've asked you over the years if anybody has ever gotten malware or ransomware on your Chromebook. Please let me know. The response has been, look, that's okay. That means that the Chromebooks are doing their job. But it's amazing that on a Chromebook, I don't recall hearing news about malware attack on a Chromebook. Multiple layers of security. I won't call it 100% impossible to get virus on any machine, but these things are dang close. And very impressive piece of machinery. I have to be honest, I never saw this coming. I mean, I knew about Chromebooks way back when I tested my first Chromebook. Had to be probably 2011, 2012. Back then, I did not think much of it, I'll be honest. But during the pandemic, Chromebooks outsold Macs. That says a lot. They are reliable, they're fast, they are easy to use. They just work. And, maybe some of you have tried Linux before in the past and bad experience. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Check out a Chromebook. They've always worked for me. They might work for you. One thing I wish I could get on a Chromebook was the ability to install OBS Studio, something similar. Nothing available yet. Now I know there are videos that you can watch on YouTube. Useless. Of all the useless Linux videos I've seen, installing OBS Studio on a Chromebook, it does not work. I've never gotten it to work. There is no official app or official OBS Studio for the Chromebook or anything similar, at least not yet. Okay? These machines are fast. They can handle it. But as of yet, there is nothing out. The software simply has not caught up to the capabilities of today's Chromebooks. That part is disappointing. It's not the fault of the Chromebook. But I wish we had OBS Studio and or Kden Live for Chromebooks. And I just thought of another joke. What do you call a girl in the middle of a tennis court? Annette. Die. It's one of those mornings. Maybe it's too much caffeine. I'm not sure. Anyway, if there are any girls out there named Mariana, this song's for you. Mama Mariana, Mariana, Mariana. I don't know the Marianas. I have a girlfriend or a friend named Marina from Argentina. She's a sweetheart. She lives in Florida. Hi, Marina. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Oh, but I digress. Hey, it's Sunday morning. Love songs. I'm thinking of girls. What can I say? That's usually what I think of. Every Sunday morning, the first thing I think of Linux and girls. Excuse me. All right, where was I? So I need to refill my cup of coffee here. But, yeah, I think I've said this before. My local Walmart carries 8 different models of Chromebooks. I think that's more than the Windows models that they carry there, I think. I have to look, I'm not sure, but that's great, you know? Anyway, let me get a refill of coffee and I'll be back. If there's anybody in the chat would like to say hello, I do these shows at random times, hoping to catch people in different time zones. If you're out there, show some respect to the Godfather here and say hello. You see what I'm saying? Alright, let me refill my cup. I shall return. All right. So this summer here on the chats, it's been quiet, and in a way that's good because I think this is the first full summer post-pandemic without fear of, well, I guess the virus is still out there, but without the pandemic. So I'm sure many of you are catching up, family, friends, traveling this summer, and that's good. I would rather you do that than be here talking to me. Of course, you're welcome here anytime. This summer, I was planning on traveling down to Florida, visiting some friends I haven't seen in over 10 years. That was the plan until my son blew the engine on his Lexus. It's something he will never forget. It's something I will never forget. It kind of, I won't say it ruined my summer, but it didn't help. Anyway, we're still shopping for a used car for him. It was an expensive lesson, and I'm sure I'm not the only dad to experience that. It just kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, I got a fresh cup of coffee. It is quiet here in the chat. I don't see anyone. I will stick around a little bit longer. If anybody drops in, I'll say hello. Sorry that I missed you. But let's let me crank up the music here a little bit from that. And if you are in the chat, have a question or comment, please say hello. I always enjoy hearing from you guys. This is something we did many, many, many times before before COVID. I kind of miss those days. Would like to bring them back, but I need your help. I need community involvement. I can't do this alone. Anyway, let's crank up the tunes here for a little while.
Bella veramente, sì bella, 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 come sei bella tu, non c'è nessuno più, il cuore mio mi batte, cammina mille all'ora, di questa vita vuole, di viverla con te, poi come sei bella, poi come sei bella, come sei bella tu, non c'è nessuno più, poi come sei bella, poi come sei bella, sei tutta, tutta bella, così l'amore mio. Gli amici sono amici fin quando tu gli dai, ma quando tu non hai, non ti guardano in faccia e vanno per le strade con le bugie in bocca. L'amico che hai creduto, col denaro l'hai perduto, poi ci sono cascati.
I've always loved this song from Dad. It's the "Oh Hey I'm Screwed" song. This always puts a smile on my face. Oh hey, I'm screwed. Oh, thank you, Dad, for the laughs. Well, good morning to you, Poindexter's in the chat. Welcome to this morning's stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm just chilling with Dad's tunes, a little bit of coffee, doing my morning stretches. Went swimming yesterday. It felt great. How are you? You did a reinstall. What did you reinstall? Chrome OS or something else? You're doing fine. Terrific. Glad to hear that. What did you reinstall? I haven't had to reinstall anything in a while. Oh, Ubuntu. Okay, I think the last reinstall I did, and it was the last, was the last Ubuntu I tried where I had no sound. I think it was Ubuntu 22. No sound. Tried to fix it. Didn't work. I did a fresh reinstall again. Still had no sound. And when I looked at the sound menu, it said dummy output. How appropriate. And that was the end of Ubuntu for me. Yeah, enough is enough. Have you ever tried a Chromebook, by the way? Botnet remnants. Well, that's something I haven't heard of in a while. Yeah, the big problem this year has been well, ransomware. So you have an older Chromebook doesn't update anymore. Okay. Well, the new ones are going to give you 10 years of guaranteed updates and support, which I think is the best in the business, as far as I know. I do have one older one that stopped updating. Well, that one's about 7 years old. Yeah, I really can't complain. I mean, they're not that expensive, so. But the new Chromebooks, the Chromebooks Plus will give you 10 years, which I think is fair. Do I still use Linux? Oh, of course. Of course, Chromebooks I use. Well, Chromebook. I don't use the older Chromebook with Chrome OS. This live stream this morning is with Linux Mint. And I still have, in fact, I just updated my ThinkPad. Still use Windows 11. Works for me. But yeah, primarily it's going to be either Linux Mint or on my Chromebook. Of course, my phone. Don't use Windows that much anymore. I don't have to. So Poindexter asked, do I prefer distros from small or large organizations? I don't have a preference. I prefer the ones that work. Not so much who makes them that much. You know, the last I checked, there are about 600 different variants of distributions you can download. And maybe you can count on one hand the ones that are really, really good. So as far as organizations, I don't really follow that much. I use what works. You know, I've been Been running Linux now for almost 20 years, since 2006. There's a lot of crap out there. And there's some really good ones. Of course, we talked about the Chromebooks with Chrome OS, Linux Mint, Zorin. Pop OS now is coming out with something completely new. Looking forward to that one here in the next, couple weeks. Anyway, yeah, to me, the best one is the one that works. Do you think about who is maintaining the distro security-wise? Well, of course, security is always top of the list, and that should be important. Which is why I like certain ones. I've talked about Chrome OS Flex. Never gotten a virus, no malware on the Chromebooks. Not a single one. At least none that I've heard of. Yes, security is important. Absolutely. I trust Linux Mint. You agree on Chrome? Yeah, it's almost impossible to have something like Chrome OS and never been hit with malware or ransomware. But anyway, yeah, large organizations means more oversight, sure. But I just never really thought about it that much when I'm using my Linux Mints and Chromebooks and stuff like that. Yep, small organizations putting trust in fewer people, sure. Not necessarily a bad thing. I think to me it all comes down to reliability. I think patience, people having tolerance to waste time. Post-pandemic period now is less. They don't have the same amount of patience or wasting time. Time is precious and all that. When I had the issue with Ubuntu, the last Ubuntu that I tried with no sound, I'm like, even after a fresh install, no sound. I admit I could not figure out how to fix it. It was very disappointing. So I no longer trust Ubuntu. I think part of it is that they use the default GNOME desktop, which is horrible, at least for beginners. So, yes, trust is important. I no longer trust Ubuntu. If they had stuck with the Unity desktop, I think it would have been a much better experience. But since they switched back in 2017, it hasn't been the same for me. So I no longer use Ubuntu. If it works for you, great. But it's not something I would recommend for new users. It's not even on my list anymore, sadly. All right, I'll stick around a few more minutes. Almost finished my coffee. If there's anybody here wants to say hello, please do. Yes, the XFCE desktop. I think Linux Mint has a version with the XFCE desktop. Is nice. I prefer the Mate desktop for its simplicity. All this fancy looks is great, but what's the point if it doesn't work? Or if it's not fast? Well, with GNOME, it seems like it's never finished. It's never polished. I mean, it's weird. If you install something that has GNOME, and then you have to install it again, meaning that you have to install extensions to make it more functionable. It just doesn't make sense. Now, a couple distributions have done it right, like Zorin, Pop OS, but it's just weird. It's never finished. Yes, Mate is the fork of GNOME 2, which is why I like it. It just works. So, yeah. It has to be reliable. It's got to be simple. Something without a big learning curve. I think Linux Mint has done a good job. Of course, Chrome OS, about as lightweight as you can get, stripped down to its bare essentials. Easy to use, easy to navigate through, blazingly fast. That's the power of Linux. Anyway, yeah, you like the vertical desk bar for XFCE. I don't customize my Mate too much. All right, I am out of coffee here. So I think we'll wrap this up for this morning. Always a pleasure chatting here on the live shows. I wish we can get more people on, but maybe once the summer is over, people are home for the winter, whatever, we'll get more involvement. And that's it. You guys know how to reach me. If anybody has an idea for a live topic, want to sponsor a live show, let me know. I'm available. I'm listening. My summer's pretty much shot right now. Still shopping for a car, but be safe. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.